The large ship moved slowly through space. It was the first human ship to enter the Zelvaris system. Captain Ethan Cole stood near the window, watching the strange purple clouds outside. He felt nervous. This was a big moment for humans. They were about to meet the Zelvarian Empire, one of the oldest alien nations. Beside Ethan stood Mia Brooks, a smart language expert. She had studied the Zelvarian language and culture for years. She looked calm, but inside she was worried. One wrong word could make everything go wrong. The ship landed on a tall platform surrounded by shining white towers. Soldiers in gold and silver armor waited in perfect lines. In the middle stood Princess Liora. Her skin had a soft glow, and her long hair flowed like silver threads. She wore a long green dress and a crown with blue gems. Ethan walked forward with Mia. He bowed slightly. The princess gave a small smile. She stepped closer and looked at Ethan with curious eyes. "Welcome to Zelvaris Prime," she said. Her voice was soft but clear. Ethan smiled back. "Thank you, princess. Come in peace. We hope to build friendship and trust." Liora nodded. She turned and walked ahead. Ethan and Mia followed her into the palace. Inside, tall walls were covered in glowing symbols. The floor felt warm under their feet. Soft music played in the background. Everything looked clean and beautiful. A large table was set for a banquet. Strange foods and bright colors were placed on crystal plates. There were fruits that sparkled, drinks that changed color, and meats that gave off soft steam. Ethan sat beside Liora. Mia sat across from them. As they ate, they talked about trade, peace, and the future. Then something strange happened. Ethan picked up a small flower from the plate. It looked like a rose, but it moved gently like it was alive. He held it out to Liora as a polite gift. Liora looked surprised. She raised her eyebrows. Then she smiled in a strange way. She leaned closer and said, "Wait, was that a proposal? Are you suggesting marriage?" The room became silent. Ethan froze. Mia dropped her fork. The other Zelvarians stared. Ethan spoke quickly. No, it was only a gift, a sign of respect. Nothing more." Liora laughed gently. "Oh, I see. In our culture, giving that flower means you want to join our family." Mia leaned forward. "We did not know. We're still learning your ways. We meant no disrespect." The princess waved her hand. "No offense taken. It was sweet. I just wanted to be sure." The tension in the room faded. The guests smiled again. Music grew louder. People went back to eating. But Liora kept looking at Ethan. Her smile stayed. Later that night, Ethan stood on the balcony of the palace. The sky was full of stars and 2 moons. Mia joined him. "It could have ended badly," she said. "I know," Ethan replied. "I had no idea the flower meant that. But now the princess thinks you might want to marry her?" Ethan shook his head. "Great. This is not how diplomacy is supposed to go." Mia smiled. "Maybe it's not so bad. She didn't seem angry. Maybe she likes you." Ethan looked out at the stars. "I hope we didn't just start something we can't stop." Far away, Princess Liora stood at her window. She held the flower and smiled again. The humans were interesting. She wanted to know more. Outside, in the deep sky, another ship watched from the shadows. Not all aliens wanted peace. But for now, a new story was beginning on Zelvaris Prime. The next morning, Ethan woke up early. He looked out from his guest room window and saw the golden towers shining in the sunlight. Zelvaris Prime was beautiful, but it still felt strange. He knew he had to be careful. One small mistake could damage the whole mission. Mia joined him in the main hall. She held a small tablet, checking her notes on Zelvarian customs. "We need to avoid more surprises," she said. Ethan nodded, agreed. That flower mix-up was too close. A guard entered and bowed. "Princess Liora asks you to join her in the garden." Ethan followed the guard through tall halls and crystal doors. The garden was full of floating lights, singing plants, and water that moved like living glass. Liora stood beside a tall tree with silver leaves. "Good morning, Captain," she said with a soft smile. "Good morning, Princess," Ethan replied. She handed him a small fruit. "This one means friendship. You can eat it safely." Ethan smiled and took a bite. "Thank you. Hope we can understand each other better." "So do I," Liora said. She looked at him with interest. "Your people are very different, but I find that exciting." Back inside the palace, Mia was meeting with a royal translator. She asked about every symbol, gesture, and phrase. She wanted to make sure no more accidents happened. Giving the sky flower means deep union, the translator said. It is rare, usually given during proposal. Mia sighed. That explains a lot. Outside, Ethan and Liora walked beside a small lake. Strange birds flew around them, their wings glowing in the sun. I wonder, Liora said, how your world handles peace talks? Do you use gifts? Ethan thought for a moment. Sometimes, usually just words and papers. We don't mix romance with politics. Liora laughed. On Zelvaris, everything is connected. Love, war, peace, family. It is all one circle. As they walked, people watched from the shadows. Some Zelvarians did not trust humans. They whispered among themselves. In a dark room deep under the palace, a tall man with hard eyes spoke to his followers. The humans are weak. We cannot trust them. If they join our bloodline, we lose our power. His name was Varan, an old military leader who wanted the throne for himself. He planned to stop this new bond between humans and the royal family. Back in the human ship, Mia sent a report to Earth. The situation is stable, but delicate. The princess is taking great interest in Captain Ethan. This may help or hurt. We must tread carefully. Liora invited Ethan and Mia to a special dinner with her father, Emperor Kale. He was a tall man with strong features and silver armor. Welcome, the Emperor said. We watched your people from afar. Now we speak face to face. Ethan bowed. It is an honor, Your Highness. We come with hope. Kale looked at him closely. I heard of the flower you gave. Do you stand by your action? Ethan stayed calm. I did not know its meaning. I gave it with respect, not as a promise. But I have nothing but honor for your daughter. The Emperor was silent for a moment, then gave a slow nod. Let this moment pass. But know this. On our world, symbols matter. Liora smiled softly. The dinner went on, filled with stories and music. Ethan and Mia listened carefully. They saw how deep the Zelvarian traditions were. Later, Liora stood alone near a balcony. Ethan walked over. Thank you for standing by me in front of your father, he said. You speak with care, Liora replied. That is rare. Many say much and mean little. Ethan smiled. I try to mean what I say. Liora looked into his eyes. Do you fear what this might become? Ethan took a breath. I fear doing the wrong thing. But I want to learn. She touched his hand. Then we begin again. No flowers, no mistakes. Just truth. From the shadows, Varan watched them. His eyes were cold. He whispered, let them play. Soon it ends. But for now, the stars above Zelvaris Prime shined bright. A small connection was growing. Something new was beginning. The sun rose over the towers of Zelvaris Prime. The city prepared for the Festival of Unity, a great event that happened only once every 10 years. People hung glowing lights on buildings. Music filled the air. Liora stood on a balcony and looked over the city. She loved this time. It reminded her of peace and hope. Ethan walked beside her. Your world looks even more beautiful today, he said. It is our day of light, Liora replied. We honor unity between people and stars. This year it feels special. Mia joined them, holding a datapad. She had studied the festival and its meaning. This day marks when the first peace treaty was signed on your world. Right? Liora nodded. Long ago, many races on our planet were enemies. They fought for years. Then they came together to stop the war. This festival remembers that. As the city prepared, the Emperor met with Ethan and Mia in the palace hall. He stood tall, wearing a long dark robe with silver lines. Today, we show the people what peace means, the Emperor said. They will watch how you walk beside my daughter. If they believe in you, we move forward. Ethan understood. We will not fail, Your Highness. That afternoon, Liora and Ethan walked through the city square. People gathered to see them. Children threw petals in the air. A floating screen showed their images across the city. Liora reached for Ethan's hand. He took it. The crowd cheered. Mia watched from behind, making sure everything went as planned. In a quiet room under the city, Varan watched the screen with anger. His men stood around him. They turn our festival into a joke, Varan said. The humans must leave. We strike tonight. At sunset, the Festival of Unity began. Firelights flew into the sky. Dancers moved in glowing robes. The air smelled of sweet spices. Ethan wore a robe given by the Zelvarian Council. It was dark blue with gold edges. Liora wore a white dress with soft lights that moved like stars. As they stood on a high platform, the Emperor raised his hand. "Today, we remember the value of peace," he said, "and we open the door to new friends." The crowd clapped. Ethan stepped forward. He spoke with care. "We come not to change your world, but to share ours. May this day be the first of many." Liora smiled beside him. The music started again. People danced and laughed. Mia stood near the edge of the crowd watching. She noticed a strange movement in the shadows. She saw a man holding a small device. Her eyes widened. "Ethan," she called through her, "come get down now." A loud blast shook the square. Smoke rose from the edge. People screamed. Guards ran forward. Ethan pulled Liora close and shielded her. More blasts followed. Mia rushed to their side. "This was planned," she said. "It's not just an accident." Liora's eyes were sharp. Baron, only he would attack during this day. The guards formed a shield around the group. Ethan helped Liora up. Her dress was torn, but she was safe. The Emperor ordered the city sealed. "Find them. Bring them to me." Back inside the palace, Liora sat on a couch. Ethan knelt beside her. "Are you hurt?" he asked. "Only shocked," she said. "You saved me." Mia paced the room. "We must stop Varen before he starts something bigger." Ethan stood. "Then we act fast. This is more than just a mission now." Outside fires were put out. The people stayed calm, but fear had entered their hearts. Later that night, Liora visited Ethan in the guest chamber. She held a small box. "This is for you," she said. "It is a crystal from our first treaty. It shows trust." Ethan took it and looked at her. "Even after what happened?" "Yes," she said, "because I believe in you." Far above the planet, the Zelthan ship moved closer. They had watched everything. "Now's the time," the Zelthan commander said. "They are weak. We will strike next." But down on Zelvaris Prime, hope still lived in two hearts that chose to trust each other. The sky above Zelvaris Prime was quiet, but inside the palace, everyone felt tension. The attack during the festival had left fear and questions. Ethan stood with Mia in the war chamber. They looked at a large screen that showed the city and the outer space around it. "Varen has gone too far," Mia said. "He wants to break the peace." "We cannot wait," Ethan replied. "We will try again." Princess Liora entered the room. Her face was calm, but her eyes were sharp. "We found signs of a hidden base in the mountains. Varen may be hiding there." The Emperor walked in behind her. "If we act, we must be sure. We cannot start a war without proof." Mia stepped forward. "We found a signal from the attack. It was traced to that area. We believe it's real." The Emperor nodded slowly. "Then we send a small team, quiet and fast. Ethan, Liora, go with them." Ethan looked at Liora. She gave a small nod. "We will go." That night, a small ship flew toward the dark mountains. Inside were Ethan, Liora, Mia, and 5 guards. The ship moved through thick clouds and landed on a rocky cliff. They stepped out into the cold wind. The stars were bright above them. The team walked into a dark cave where lights flickered on the walls. After a long walk, they reached a hidden door. Liora pressed a symbol, and the door opened. Inside, they saw computers and weapons. "This is it," Ethan said. Varen was planning much more. Suddenly, a noise came from behind. Varen stood there with 10 soldiers. "So you came. I hoped you would." Liora stepped forward. "You broke the law. You attacked our people. Why? Because you are weak," Varen shouted. "You let humans into our world. You want to mix with them. It will destroy us." Ethan raised his hands. "We want peace, not control. We respect your people," Varen pointed a weapon. "Then respect this." Before he could fire, one of Liora's guards threw a small light bomb. A flash filled the room. Shots were fired. The battle was short but hard. Varen tried to escape, but Mia blocked his path and hit him with a stun device. He fell to the ground. Liora walked up to him. "You had a choice, but you chose hate." Back in the palace, the Emperor listened as Liora told him everything. He looked at the captured Varen. "You will be judged by the law." The Emperor turned to Ethan. "You fought with honor. You protected my daughter and our people. You have earned my respect." Liora looked at Ethan with a warm smile. Did it together. Later, Ethan and Liora stood in the garden. The wind was soft, and the night was peaceful again. "I never thought I would fight in a mountain cave on a strange world," Ethan said. Liora laughed. "I never thought I would trust a human so deeply." Ethan looked at her. "It all started with a flower. Now look where we are." She held his hand. Sometimes strange moments lead to great things. Mia joined them. We found something else in Varen's base. A message from a Zelthan ship. They were watching us. They may attack next. Ethan's face grew serious. "Then this is not over." Liora turned to the stars. "If they come, we will face them. Not as two people from different worlds, but as one." The next morning, a large meeting was held in the palace. Leaders from different parts of Zelvaris joined. Ethan and Mia stood beside the Emperor and Liora. "We face a new threat," the Emperor said, "but we are not alone. The humans have stood with us. Now we must stand with them." The room filled with voices of agreement. As the day ended, Liora gave Ethan a small gold pin. It showed the sign of unity. "This means you are part of our world now," she said. Ethan took it and smiled. "Then I will wear it with pride." Far away in space, the Zelthan commander watched from his ship. "They grow strong together," he said. "But we will break that bond soon." Back on Zelvaris Prime, two hearts beat with courage and hope. The fight was not over, but they were ready. The warning came at night. The sky over Zelvaris Prime turned red. Alarms rang through the city. Guards rushed to their posts. Ethan stood with Liora on the palace balcony, looked up and saw dark shapes moving above the clouds. "They are here," Liora said. "The Zelthans," Ethan replied. "We need to get ready." Mia came running with a message from the command center. "The enemy ships are moving fast. They are trying to cut off our defenses." The Emperor entered the war hall. "Call every ship. We fight for our home." Ethan, Liora, and Mia moved to the control room. They stood with generals and pilots. Holograms showed the Zelthon fleet coming closer. "They outnumber us," one general said. "But we fight with heart," Liora replied. "We do not run. If we hit their lead ship, the others may fall back." Mia added, "We can use the Zelvarian energy beams with human tech. We've tested it. It can break their shields." The Emperor gave a sharp nod. "Then do it. Show them we are strong." The battle began. Human and Zelvarian ships flew side by side. Bright lights filled the sky. Explosions shook the air. The people watched from shelters, hoping for victory. Ethan flew with the lead squad. He spoke to the teams through his headset. "Aim for the center ship. Hold your line." Liora stayed in the palace control room, helping command the defense. Mia worked beside her, giving directions and reading enemy signals. "They're turning toward the city," Mia said. "Can't let them land," Liora answered. She sent out a signal to all fighters. "Push them back. Protect our people." In the sky, Ethan's ship dodged enemy fire. He saw the lead Zelthan ship ahead. It was huge, covered in black metal. "All units aim now," he shouted. A wave of energy beams hit the Zelthan ship. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the enemy shields broke. The ship began to fall. Cheers filled the air. But the battle was not over. More Zelthan ships came from behind the moon. They had sent a second wave. The Emperor ordered ground defenses to rise. "We must stop them before they reach the city," he said. Liora left the palace and went to the front line. She took a weapon and stood with the soldiers. "You should not be here," one guard said. "My people fight," Liora replied. "So will I." Ethan landed his ship near the front gate. He saw Liora and ran to her. "You're here," he said. "I could not stay behind," she answered. They fought side by side. Laser blasts lit up the sky. The ground shook with each step of the enemy. Mia hacked the enemy codes and shut down one of their main controls. "They are weak now," she said. "Strike fast." The humans and Zelvarians pushed forward. They used every skill they had. At last, the enemy began to fall back. The Zelthan commander gave the order to retreat. "We will return," he said. "This is not the end." But for now, the sky cleared. The battle was won. People came out from shelters. They cheered for the fighters. The Emperor stood with pride. He looked at Ethan, Liora, and Mia. "Today, we became one," he said. "Not just in war, but in spirit." Later, a ceremony was held in the Great Hall. Flags of both worlds were placed side by side. The Emperor spoke to all. "Ethan Cole, you showed great courage. You led with heart. Will you now take a step that joins our worlds forever?" Ethan turned to Liora. She smiled. He knelt and opened a small box. "Princess Liora, will you marry me for peace, for unity, and for love?" Leora's eyes filled with light. "Yes, Ethan, I will." The crowd cheered. Mia clapped with joy. The Emperor smiled and placed a hand on their shoulders. The wedding was set for the next full moon. People from both worlds would attend. It would be the first union of its kind. Ships flew again, but now they carried gifts, not weapons. Music played in the streets. The palace was filled with laughter. And high above the stars, peace spread across new paths. The story that began with a simple flower had changed to worlds forever.